welcome back to Adobe Live. It is so wonderful to have you all here with us today for Draw This in Your Style. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing, Wade? Today we are having Wade as our guest.
Hey, how's it going? Doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing good. Today is day 2. If you guys missed day 1, don't forget to check it out. Welcome everyone. Sam, Mercutio, hello. Annika, good to see you guys. So if you guys are new to Draw This in Your Style, you never heard of it before, or never watched the show, basically Draw This in Your Style is when an artist will create an illustration and upload it online for everyone and anyone to recreate that specific illustration in their own artistic style. And we do that, but with a twist. So before the show, Wade picked a theme, which is actually a wizard's familiar. And then we both drew an illustration, and then we swapped it on the stream, and now we are redrawing each other's in our own artistic style. And yesterday we got a decent amount done. I think Wade and me are both going to start coloring today, which I really love the coloring process. I love watching the coloring process on stream. So I hope you guys enjoy that. But before we get over to Photoshop, I would like to hand it over to Wade so he can give you a little bit of an intro to who he is and the kind of work that he does.
Hey, yeah, thanks, Cody. Yeah, I think she has my Instagram up. And yeah, usually I introduce myself as a motion graphics artist, animator, because that is a lot of what I do. But lately I've been pushing into illustration and concept art. But yeah, that's it. That's all of it in a nutshell. You can take a look at my Instagram to see what a lot of the illustration work is. Oh, we're gesturing. Oh, wait, this way. There we go. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm super excited, like Cody said, to get going with the coloring process. And let's see where it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's head over to Photoshop. You guys go follow Wade on Instagram if you would like to check out more of his work as well. And we can pop on over to Photoshop and show you guys what we have been working on. So actually, you know what? So sorry. I just realized I didn't open our artwork beforehand. So let me just open our pieces really quick. Okay, here we go. So this one is the one that Wade did that I am recreating. And this is the one that I did that Wade is recreating. So I did an owl and Wade did a cat. So here are our sketches that we have that we did yesterday. Let's see, turn up my opacity here we got going on. So Wade, Wade, you did the sketch on your personal stream, and then you kind of did like your values yesterday, and then you're gonna hop into color today, you think?
Yeah, that's the plan. I spent I think about a couple of hours getting to this point from yesterday's stream, and hopefully so I can show you a little bit of the coloring process. And I was telling Cody before we started, I'm a little bit nervous to see how this is going to work out, but I'm used to that. That's usually how this goes. I don't know where it's going to end up, so I'm excited to get going.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous today too, to be honest. So I think we're in the same boat a little bit because yesterday, if you guys weren't here, Wade threw down the gauntlet and he challenged me to have some bright blue lighting as he did in his illustration, which I don't usually work in bright colors. So this is going to be really interesting today. I'm going to try to do my best to get to that point on stream because I would like to kind of work through that with you guys. But yeah, I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Welcome in Umacorn, Steve, Viola. Good to see you guys. Christelle, thank you so much for popping in. It's good to see you. Welcome. Rob, Sam, Megan, Vanessa. Oh my gosh, there's so many people. Lee, welcome. Hi.
Yeah, also notice my candle is massive. So
it is pretty big, isn't it?
The flame on it is like a torch at this point. So I'm going to kind of bring all of that down a little bit.
Also, you guys, before I get going here, I wanted to let you know that if you guys would like to recreate either Wade's or my illustration in your own artistic style, feel free to do so. You can upload it to Instagram with the hashtag Adobe Live DTIYS, or you can post it in the Photoshop Discord under the channel. What is it? Is it just Draw This in Your Style channel? Wow. My brain just like shut down there for a second. Under the Draw This in Your Style channel. Wow. Okay, sorry guys.
You got this. You got this.
Anyway, yeah, please feel free to recreate our artwork. And at the end of the stream, we will be going over some community entries, which we already got a couple of entries for this theme so far as well. So I'm looking forward to showing those off towards the end. Okay, so yesterday I left it off where I just kind of threw in this dark background color here. And the way that I add color is, if you guys are unfamiliar with my work, I pretty much just work in flat colors, and I work with one of Kyle Webster's chalk brushes. So I'm probably just going to kind of keep the background layer off for a bit and just start adding in color over top of it, and kind of just checking my values along the way to see how I like the color palette that's kind of developing. And that's kind of, I don't really plan my colors ahead of time, so we'll kind of just figure it out as we go here.
Wait, we were supposed to plan our colors?
If it works for you, you can plan your colors. I know like some guests that I've had on the show before, they'll like, I know some artists will kind of do like color comps like ahead of time, and they'll kind of like put their like color palette kind of in different groups around their illustration for the stream. But for me, I actually have all of my swatches just saved in Photoshop, so that's just how I reference it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted to throw down that challenge, just to throw something in there just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so where I left off, I don't think I have, I just kept working on the same layer, so I don't think I have where we stopped. Maybe I do. I don't think I do. This is a little less refined. I think this is without the window. But yeah, I spent a couple of hours kind of cleaning up, you know, some edges and getting things ready to work, adding some color, which is what I'm hoping to do here in a minute.
Mm-hmm. Hey, RB, welcome. Good to see you.
What's up, RB? How's it going?
Oh, also, you guys, Wade, you were saying yesterday that after this stream, like directly after,
oh, yeah.
You're probably going to be working on this on your own personal stream. So we're kind of like, in a way, going to be like rating your stream from Adobe Live, which is kind of fun. So we'll probably pop in there after the stream as well, if you guys want to kind of have like an after party at Wade's personal Behance stream.
You'll have to bring your own refreshments, but we'll bring the rest of the party. Yeah, my stream just happens to be at the exact time that this ends. So a lot of time when I'm prepping for my streams, I'm watching, if your show's on, I'm watching. So
nice. I have a question for chat, actually. If you were a wizard, what pet familiar would you have? And Wade as well, answer that question.
I'll let Chat answer first. Go ahead, Chat. What you got?
Hey, Ryan Selvey in the house. Hey, Ryan. How are you doing?
Well, if Chat's not going to answer, you would have a barn owl named Alistair? Interesting.
Wow, incredible.
Interesting. It's a stretch, but I like it.
Who would have guessed?
Well, there's a little bit of a story. When I was, I'm talking, when I was younger, I'm talking like right when I started playing D&D, probably, I don't know, 12, 13, something like that. And we were talking about this a little bit yesterday. Like I was always the guy who would be like drawing everybody's character, or they would ask me to draw their characters.
Sure.
But you know, I did a lot of drawing my own, and I did have a wizard character at one point. and he had a weasel as his familiar.
Nice.
And then that weasel kind of stuck around in other drawings. Like I would hide him in different places. That was a thing for a while. I thought I had gotten out of that, but then there's another character that called Mingo that's sort of ferret weaselish that keeps popping up. I don't hide it anymore. I just go ahead and draw him. But we did that on the Design in the Dark with Andrew.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was actually going to ask, because just looking at your Instagram just now, I saw a few weasel-looking characters
right.
on there.
Weasley-looking characters.
Oh, could you show us? I can pull it up really quick for you guys. Yeah, I can pull up his Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. We got this guy. There, Mingo. Yeah. In your description, it says Mingo. Yeah, here we go. He's so cute. Oh my gosh. I love it.
This is a second iteration. We actually wound up doing a t-shirt that I sent out to subscribers. That's, I think, maybe the post right before the post about this show. So it's right at the top.
Oh, this one. Yeah. Creative Curiosity. That's awesome.
Basically, it's just based off of that same sketch.
Oh, nice. Is this a vector?
Yeah, that was the first vector, first fully vector illustration that I've ever done in Fresco.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
So I was kind of testing it out, seeing what, how it all works.
Yeah, I haven't actually really used the vector brushes in Fresco yet, but I'm sure I've seen other artists use them and they seem pretty intuitive.
Yeah, it really is. It's pretty amazing. You can just kind of pick it up if you're at all familiar with drawing on an iPad or anything like that. It's really quick to pick up. Mm-hmm. You didn't name what your familiar would be.
Oh, I would definitely have an owl. I really like brown owls. They have like the big white rings around their eyes. They have another name too other than brown owl. I forget what it is though. But we got some answers in chat here. Ted says a dog, a massive big dog. Rob says a platypus. Nicole says chinchilla. Viola says a koala. Lee says a sloth. Mercutio says a cat. Actually, a dragon cat.
Oh. Okay.
Steve says a saber-toothed tiger. These are very exotic answers. I was not expecting these. It's very nice. Sam says gotta go with cat.
Yep.
Urkamet says brown owls are also known as tawny owls. Yes, that sounds about right. Tawny owl. Clever says I'd probably have a goose.
A goose.
That's adorable. Oh man, it's so incredible. I just looked over at what you're working on, how the color just lays right over top of the values and it just instantly comes to life when you start it in grayscale.
Yeah, it's this is where it gets tricky for me because I'm like, am I pushing the values enough with just using a color layer? And a lot of times I'm not. So that's when I start going back and forth between actually painting. But I'm going to try and stick to just the color layer for now. But it's good. I was saying earlier, this is going to be really probably closer to sepia toned than anything else. Trying to keep it fairly warm.
Tiny says this looks like a barn owl. Yes, it is a barn owl on stream currently.
Hey, Tiny. Tiny's my good friend.
Oh, hi, Tiny. Welcome. Good to have you here.
We her daughter is a filmmaker, and I helped them make some films this past year.
Oh, cool.
And happy she could join us.
Sam has a question for you. Do you usually just use a color layer when coloring grayscale?
It's kind of a combo. Like I'll start and try to get as far as I can with just the color layer. And then that doesn't usually let me finish to the, how I want to. So I have to, what I'll usually do is copy that down to the, like in this case, I have like a foreground layer. I'll copy it down so that I merge basically both of those together. And then I start with just straight painting with color over top of that. But I'll save the copy so that it's non-destructive.
Mm-hmm. Christelle is asking, what is the opacity of your colored layers, Wade?
Oh, turn this on. You can, it's on color mode. I'll take it off to normal. So this is kind of what you see when it's not in the blend mode, color blend mode. It's really hard to see it when it is in the color blend mode. But the opacity is at full strength. But my brush, and I'll just leave this to normal. My brush is it's a little chalk brush, but it varies with my paint stroke.
Mm-hmm.
So I can make it, I'm kind of being very soft with it right now. This is what it looks like without the blend mode on.
Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Art.
Yeah.
Hey Bliss, welcome. How are you doing? Good to see you. Megan apparently was taking one of those like online quizzes that tells you what your wizard familiar would be, and she got Raven. I got Raven. The quiz has spoken. Ravens are pretty cool. My Harry Potter Patronus, according to the quiz, is actually a Saint Bernard.
Oh. I'm very much a, and I get some blowback for this, and that's okay. It's understandable. All the quizzes you take to like, what house are you in, mm-hmm. all this stuff. It's all made up. Be in whatever house you want. You don't have to take a quiz for that.
Yeah.
I understand it's just for fun, but that always cracks me up because some people will get like
really serious about it.
Yes. And I'm like, come on, let's settle it down and have some fun.
Hey Jack, welcome. Good to see you.
What's up, Jack? Glad you can make it.
Again, just letting everyone that's just popping in know, after this stream is over, we're heading over to, I won't be on the stream, but Wade is going to be streaming on his own personal channel, working on this a little bit more as well, if you guys want to hang out and chat with us. So don't forget to follow Wade on Behance, because he streams regularly every week.
That's right. We'll pop right over as soon as I can start up OBS and get going. Another little thing I'll do if I know that I'm probably not going to take this, like if I don't want to just increase the saturation of everything I've done, I'll just double the layer. I'll duplicate it, and it'll start to kind of fill in. It only take it so far as the layer will just be getting more opaque, if that makes sense. That's all you're really doing. But I like to let some of the grays of the neutral, like the neutrals, show through. It's kind of a weird, like, to taste, like,
right.
look good? I don't know. I'll keep going.
Yeah. Kind of just go with your gut as you work.
Yep. Yep.
Sam saying, Wade's hinting at the time I called him in tears at 3 a.m. because I got Hufflepuff and I wanted Slytherin.
Well, I wasn't going to bring it up, Sam, but you just gotta,
Gotta let it go, man.
Yeah. You don't have to follow those rules.
What are your favorite colors to work in, Wade?
I think I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, I don't have, like, I really like what you do with having a consistent, yeah, I don't know what you call it, like that warm and cozy. I'll call it cottage core. I don't know.
Sure.
And I don't know that I have that, for myself yet. I don't know that I don't know if there ever will be. But I really do like, I like to explore and try to find new things when I'm working something out. Because if I had my way, I'd probably just work in grayscale only.
Oh, really?
But I need to, I like color, and of course like having that, options of just kind of doing whatever I want as far as like color scheme. But if I'm working on an illustration for someone, obviously there's a, we'll pick a palette, or they'll already have a palette, or something like that. But for myself, I'm all over the place. I do tend to go a little more neutral and desaturated. Lately, if you when you're looking through my Instagram, there will be some more, I guess, more saturated, brightly colored. Those are all just kind of experiments. It's not my normal. It's not my typical.
I can answer that question for Sam. Orange and blue.
He likes he likes the red and golds. I know
that too. We always used to tease him on the Twitch channel that he had to add rim light to everything. I don't know if he still does that to this day, but he did that like every single time.
It's a good, it's a good technique.
It is. It adds a lot of drama.
I say that because I have a little bit of rim light in this.
Nice.
There are definitely times where can be overkill.
Well, when you have one source of light, like a candle, like in yours, you kind of have to have some rim light.
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out what that light is right now. Like, do I want to take it to something, like a blue coming through? Everything's very warm right now. And there is another ambient light coming from the front, like that's kind of front lit in mine. It's not, established in the scene anywhere, but that's what's giving us a lot of the, being able to see the front of this owl, and it's not more of a silhouette.
Right. Steve says the light is the beady eyes of Meeps.
Oh yeah, I've got to
This is
add
some
those.
bright eyes.
That's right. I've got to add the little Meeps back in the background.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that right now before I forget. Because you weren't joking. The time goes by so fast.
It does. It really does.
Oh.
So I'm kind of just very vaguely adding in some overlay layer light here. And I'll work with it as I keep adding in color, but we're starting to get some of the glow here.
Oh yeah, I see it. See it cropping up in there. I'm really excited to see what that's going to be.
I'm interested too. I really am. I think the background needs to be a little bit lighter though, because let's see. Need a little bit of contrast here. Just the way that overlay works. Sometimes when it's on a dark background, it doesn't really show up as well. There we go. It's a little bit better. Megan says, thanks for the stream. I gotta run. No problem. Thanks so much for stopping in, Megan. We really appreciate it. I hope you have a lovely evening.
I want to get some kind of color on some of these books. Not sure what to do with that.
Rob says, Cody, do you have your own brush presets to nail your style? It's so flawless every time. Oh, thank you. That's so nice. So the brush that I'm currently drawing with is called Conte Crayon. It's by Kyle Webster. Here, I can show you guys just like an example here off to the side. It's a really nice, just like, it looks like a Crayola crayon to me. Like it's like supposed to be like a chalk crayon. And the way that I use it, I kind of had to train myself at the very beginning, because at first I wanted to, like, the natural reaction that I had with it was that I wanted to use just like a big brush and just kind of color in all of the white spots. But then I realized that obviously if you do that, then you don't have any texture left over in the middle there. So what I started doing is using it smaller sized and with a lighter pen pressure, just kind of scribbling, basically. I feel like a little kid scribbling in a coloring book, and kind of just leaving those white gaps, and that allows that texture to show through. And I also make sure that I paint in different directions. So I'll start like this, and then I'll change directions and go like this, kind of like a random crosshatch texture almost, just to kind of add a little bit more interest to the texture too, so it's not all just going in one direction. Although sometimes I'll change that. Like for instance, if I'm doing maybe planks of wood, I'll intentionally paint in a single direction, so that way it actually ends up looking like wood texture. So you can kind of use that to your advantage. But yeah, I do all of my coloring with just this one single brush. And this brush is in Kyle's Mega Pack, if you guys are looking to download it.
I want a spreadsheet of all the artists that use Kyle T. Webster brushes. Like just this massive list.
Yeah, seriously.
People his brushes have helped.
Yeah, his brushes, I've been using his brushes for almost as long as I've been doing digital art, I'd say. I found them, I think like maybe like 7 years ago or 8 years ago or so, just like in a random Tumblr post. Somebody was just talking about them and I was like, oh, those look like cool brushes. And I was really I started out in Paint Tool Sci. That was my first digital program, because I couldn't figure out how to paint in Photoshop. It just wasn't working for me. But
Right.
then when I found Kyle's brushes, it just clicked finally. Yeah, all of his textures just really just helped me understand it. I kind of had that aha moment with Photoshop and I've been using it ever since.
Yeah, it does take a little bit to kind of get that. Well, for some people, at least for me, to kind of get into that. How do I use Photoshop?
Yeah.
Because I was coming from animation and motion graphics, and I'd use Photoshop to make things, but it took me forever. Like I'm talking, days on the same thing, small illustrations. Um, and then one day it just kind of was like, oh, why am I sweating it?
Yeah.
Here's how I do this.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's intimidating at first. It's just like a lot to figure out, but then the more experience you have with it, you kind of get it. Like for me with the brushes, I really could not understand like how you were supposed to paint with a hard round brush, for instance.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out with like all the default brushes. It just didn't make sense to me. And then back then we didn't really have YouTube as much as we do now. Nowadays you could just like go on YouTube and look up a tutorial on how to paint in Photoshop. But yeah, like I said, I've been using Kyle's brushes for a long time. They're all really great. And I kind of like switch up my textures every once in a while. Like for a few years, I was using mostly his watercolor brushes. And then I kind of got tired of that texture. So I found this Conte crayon brush and I've been using it for the past couple of years. And I'm sure I'll change up my textures eventually again too.
Yeah, what sparks that change? Because I'll do the same thing. I'll be like, you know what? Let's try this.
Yeah, I
Do you?
guess. Yeah, I guess it's just happens sometimes. I just kind of get in that like kind of adventurous mode of feeling like, oh, let's try out some new brushes today, and see if anything sticks.
Yeah, I often wonder, like, is that something telling me I need to mix up what I'm doing and like move on,
Right.
like a little bit of artistic growth that just
Mm-hmm.
seeps into your everyday usage of whatever programs or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
That's to say, I don't know the answer either, but the same thing happens. It's like, oh,
Exactly. Yeah. Steve says Kyle launched his new winter 2022 set this past week. It's up for downloading. Yes, actually, we just had Kyle's brush hour stream this week. He did a little winter illustration with the brushes, showing them off. They're pretty cool. You guys should go check it out. By the way, I guess I should say, if you don't know how to download Kyle's brushes, basically you just have the brush in hand and then you just right click, and then you just go to the gear icon and then go down to get more brushes and it'll open up your browser and you can download his packs from there.
And there's also a little handy little link in the chat.
Oh, there you go. Good old moderator Wade.
Hey, what's up, Lisa? How's it going?
Hi, Lisa. Welcome.
I Honestly, I didn't think this globe was going to work out like this, but it's starting to work out.
It's really cool. I love the design when I saw you doing the sketch of it. It's really neat.
Sometimes I surprise myself.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. You kind of end up looking at your artwork like, wow, I don't hate that, you know?
Right. That's a weird thing. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Who did that? Oh, wait. No.
Wow, that was me.
On that note, when do you ever have times where like things aren't going your way with a piece? Do you have any? I think everybody goes through that, but do you have any like tried and true methods of just working through it? Because I think that's the key is just knowing that you can do it and just working through it.
Yeah, some days I feel like it's just like not a good drawing day for me. Like I feel like some days I have like really good lucky lines and then another day I don't. Like I whenever I have like artist block, I personally have to really just walk away and take a break from art. Whether that be sometimes weeks at a time. Obviously you can't really do that if it's client work, but for personal work, talking just personal work, just take a step back, because it, like, for me, if I try to work through it, it just makes me even more frustrated that something's not working out. So I kind of just have to look away from it for a bit. But I do know a lot of artists that say that like they can work through it and just like basically make bad art until they make good art again is kind of like what I've heard artists say.
Yeah, I have to fight through the ugly phases.
Yeah.
I have to, because and sometimes that does require like getting up and walking away for a while, but just to know that it's possible, I usually have to kind of stick with it until I'm like, okay, we're past the ugly phase. But really just knowing that there is an ugly phase is a big step.
Yeah. Especially, I'm sure, with a more rendered style like yours, where, if it doesn't look perfect right out the gate, sometimes you're like, oh, this is a disaster. Like this is never going to get better. And then it does.
Right. Well, this owl is a prime example of that. I was like, I don't know what to do with an owl. How do you owl?
Have you ever drawn an owl before this?
I have to say I have somewhere. It's kind of like, we were talking about, have I done a draw this in your style?
Yeah.
I was like, I know I did, but I don't remember what it was. It's kind of like that. I'm pretty sure I've done an owl of some sort, but I can't recall when, where.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen an owl. Does that count?
Sure. Let's just let it count. It's fine.
Thank you. I need a win.
Yeah. There you go. Hey Dee, welcome. How are you doing?
So now I do have this. I have a layer on top of this color layer that I'm just painting whenever I feel like, oh, there needs to be some bounce light coming up on this little dish. I'll just paint it in. Just saves me a little bit more time, and then I'll pop back on the color layer and go back to work.
Sam says, I never got past the draw a circle step of the owl. Draw a circle and then draw an owl and you're good.
Yep. Did you ever follow any of those? There was a bunch of like draw cartoon, like here are the shapes you need to draw this cartoon type of thing.
Yeah, I definitely had those kinds of books when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of like one of the only avenues for, like kids and art back then. Like it was just like those draw step by step or like color by numbers or those
Right.
all those kinds of things, you know.
Yeah, those I was always very frustrated with those because I was like, that's not teaching me how to draw this.
Yeah.
That's just copying. That's not. But that's what it is. It's just the practice and the do it multiple times. You start to understand the shapes and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But no one told me that part when I was doing it. Like, it's not about doing it once and knowing that there's a formula. It's about doing it multiple times and then applying that formula to other things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not very good at explaining that in the books. They're just kind of like, here's how you draw. I'm liking the pops of purple and green on the books that you got in the background. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to get stuff like that in here, but man, it's a struggle. Kind of wanted this book right here to be purple, but I don't know that I can pull that off. We'll try it again. Not terrible.
I don't hate it.
That's good. A good sign.
Yeah.
How's your neon color?
I have not worked on it yet. I'm trying to get some of the other objects in first to kind of just gauge my values to put the like after I put the overlay on top, but we can check it here. Here's what it looks like a little bit. Yeah. I need to work with the rest of the colors first before we figure out kind of like the type of blue that's gonna look good with this color palette that I have going on.
It makes sense. Or maybe you're stalling. I don't know. I'm not saying that you're stalling.
I would never.
We only have 15 minutes left.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Wade. I would never do that.
I will never be invited back to another show.
Jennifer says, I'm just so amazed that you guys are doing this all with a mouse. We are both not using mice. Yep. We have styluses. We actually have the same, we're twinsies. We have the same Wacom Intuos Pro. Most of the time, I won't say all, but I'd say most of the time when you see a digital artist painting, they're usually using a stylus. There definitely are digital artists out there that use mice, but they're much more rare. Because you don't have pen pressure and stuff like that with a mouse. It's much more difficult. Okay. Let's see. Gonna add some gray in here for his little beard. Those little caterpillar eyebrows. Just so cute. Need drawing tablet recommendations. So I personally have been using an Intuos since I first got into digital art. Not an Intuos Pro. I mean, back then the Intuos Pro didn't exist. But there definitely are some cheaper versions of the Wacoms if you're in the market for it. It all kind of just depends on the kind of investment that you want to make. But the cheaper Wacoms, are less than 100, I'd say. Kind of like I think it's called One by Wacom or Wacom One. Those are two different models. I forget which one it is. It's kind of more of like an entry level. And then there's also Huion is another brand, a little bit more less of an investment that I've heard some artists like. I don't personally have experience with Huion tablets, but I've heard good things about them.
I have as well. I have heard the good things as well. I've known several friends that have gotten some, and they tend to like them.
Mm-hmm.
Great price point. Let's see. Do I want to?
Our comment in chat says the globe mechanism on yours, Wade, is super cool.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I was thinking about. I love thinking about how things might actually work.
Yeah.
There was a couple of things I wanted to change with this, but it was getting pretty busy, so I just kind of left it at where it was. But yeah, I was thinking the little magnifying, parts would slide around, and you could. I don't know. It's something I'd want to play with if it were real,
Yeah, definitely. It's a really cool design. I like it a lot. It makes me think of something that would be in like one of those interactive science museums or something that like a little kid would want to put their hands on and like play around with like interactively. Yeah, definitely. Oh no, it looks like my feed is doing something weird.
No.
Getting all pixelated. 1 second, you guys. I am going to resend my feed really quick. So sorry about this. A little bit of a technical issue. Be right back.
It's kind of cool, kind of abstract.
Yeah, right. I think let's go ahead and just for 1 second, let's go to just full webcams. So yeah, there we go. Just 1 second. Sorry, guys. So then I will go ahead and try to do this here. Taking a quick intermission break so you guys can go grab some snacks. That's all this is. That's what it is.
Oh man, got to deal with this flame. I've been avoiding it.
How do you enjoy drawing fire, or is that a difficult task?
It's less difficult now. This past year, and I have a Discord as well, that we studied a bunch of different materials, and
oh, cool.
Every month there was a new thematic study, and I don't remember what month it was, but one of them was fire and flame. So I spent a month trying to figure out how to draw it.
Nice. That's very cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think some people in chat also participated. But this, I want to bring this up too. There's a nasty rumor going around that I don't use. I won't use color dodge or multiply and that kind of stuff. I don't know where that started. I think it started because I like to try using those, or at least see the results of like a color dodge, and then figure out how to paint it without using the blend mode. Just so I'll know. Just so hey,
I get that.
How does this actually look? And it's not true. I will use blend modes. So put that on the Adobe Live record. That in fact, I think I'm going to try.
You heard it here, folks.
That's right. I think I'm going to try some of that right now.
Yeah, I totally understand the idea of wanting to at least have the knowledge to know how to do it manually, instead of just using a blend mode. For the longest time, I mean, outside of just like for me adding adding ambient light to some of my work, when I did add rendering, when I wasn't just doing flat colors, I would always try to do everything manually instead of using like color adjustment layers or anything like that.
Yeah, there's just something about like, hey, I want to know how to make this work without that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And plus, coming from kind of a oil painting background, my whole mode of operation was, how do I make Photoshop looks sort of like, I mean, I'm not trying to, make it look exactly like an oil painting, but I want some of that, hint that it could be a painting. Because I mean, at this point, you can make something look like an oil painting with brushstroke detail and everything if you wanted to. I've never shied away from the like, hey, it's a digital medium. It can look like a digital medium.
I actually didn't know you had an oil painting background. Do you still do traditional artwork?
I do traditional as far as like sketching and that sort of thing. I have not touched the oil paints in quite a long time. I do miss it, but it's kind of like the same thing everybody says about digital. Once you go digital, it's not like you can't switch around, because I will work with Copic markers, and I want to really get into gouache, but backtracking, it's just so much easier and less setup, less time to get to creating. You're already in it once you're working on something, digitally.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I feel. I would like to kind of, I've said this for years, learn gouache paint.
That's what I was just about to say. I really wanted to get into gouache.
Yeah. And I have gouache paints and stuff like that, but I never really stick with it because I'm so used to digital, and traditional is just so much work, to be honest. It's just like a lot of setup, and you also don't have the convenience of an undo button when you're doing traditional. So
yeah. Well, I do talk a lot about not treating things precious, and that all comes from that oil painting background, because I've wiped off multiple canvases after I've started. I'm like, I can't, this is no good. We're done here. And then just use the canvas again,
Yeah. Well, Wade, it is about that time for community entries, running maybe just a smidge late, but I want to be able to show off. We have a couple of entries for this theme, and I'd also like to show off maybe a few more entries of our last theme as well, but I will pop on over there right now, and we will show off some of our entries. So this one, Carla Cran did this one version of mine, which is so beautiful. I really love the way that she did the flame and all of the textures. She added like this little crystal ball. Oh, it's so cool. Lovely. Yeah, it's really beautiful. You did a really great job, Carla. Thank you so much for your entry. And if you guys would like to follow Carla, feel free to do so. Looks like they've got a lot of really, really great work. Oh, look at the little puppy. Oh, very cute work. Very nice. So yeah, go check out Carla's work. As well as, let's go back here. We also have an entry from Annika. If Annika is still in chat, I don't know, but Annika did one of Wade's, which is really beautiful as well. She did a really good job adding in the glow effect. Looks great.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
she did a really awesome job with the reflective light, like on all the books and everything. It looks beautiful, and the purple version I think works really well with the penguin character.
Yeah, very, very. I like it. It's very saturated, but it's pretty balanced.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, Erkamit just mentioned she drew Meeps. Look there in the background. There's Meeps. I didn't even notice that. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, cool. I love that. That's so great. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. Great job, Annika. I don't know if you're here, but great job if you see this in the future. Go follow Annika. She's got really great work too. All right, you guys, that's about all the time we have. We went a little bit late today. That's okay. I don't want to get cut off, but if we do get cut off, head over to Wade's Behance stream. We're going to pop on over there for an after party once he goes live, and he's going to continue to work on this same illustration as well. So thank you all for joining us today. Go follow Wade on Behance and Instagram as well. And thank you, Wade, for joining me on Draw This in Your Style. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you over on Wade's channel. Bye.
See you guys soon.